you've spent your life immersing yourself in, quote, dirty jobs and amongst the great Americans who happily, willingly, patriotically perform them with nary a complaint, usually, about having to do them. This woman is on television back in these tough 25-year-old days in front of millions of people, with people adorning her with accoutrements to make her look special and fabulous. And even now as a princess wants us to feel sorry for her. You poor thing. Oh my God, they told you to suck your stomach in.
Storm, keep your head held high, right? I get it. You know what? You should have taken it one click further. I mean, she's really close, I think, to seeing her name sort of turned into a verb. And you could do it, right? To commit a Markle, to be guilty of a Markle, right, needs to become something. I don't know what exactly it is, but, you know, in all seriousness, listening to you talk about her like that, I was struck by the one thing that 95% of all effective liars have in common is an audience who really wants to believe them. And so, you know, I don't know what to say in the wake of her ascendancy other than she was ordained. You know, to some degree, she was ordained by George Clooney and Oprah Winfrey. And to a larger extent, she was ordained by us. We watched, we looked, we bared witness. And now we're just wondering, what exactly did we witness?
Right. What did we buy exactly? What is it we signed on for? Yeah. You know, there was a moment where the Brits and we saw Meghan and Harry, and she seemed demure. That was what she was playing. She was projecting demure and the faithful partner. And it was like, oh, this is so sweet. Good for Harry. You know, we all loved Harry. Yeah. It's like the forgotten heir or spare. And then all hell broke loose. You know, then like her incessant narcissism and need for attention and need to cause drama, all of it started to manifest and people started to see the real her. And I do wonder, like, I don't think anybody's really listening to the podcast. People talk about how it's number one on Spotify. That just shows the number of people who are signing up, like new people who have clicked on it. People like me who are just going to talk about it in the news. I don't know who her fan base is, but I do wonder what makes someone with all of her many gifts so in love with victimhood, so adherent to it, so incapable of moving past it, or just simply inventing it where it doesn't exist.
You know, I mean, I'm not a shrink, but if I were to put her on the couch, I would just say that for whatever reason, the synapses fire in a sequence that allows that feeling to feel good. It feels good. You know, we can train ourselves to feel good about virtually any activity. And you mentioned dirty jobs, and that was a big lesson from that show. You know, job satisfaction really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the job, or at least not nearly as much as we ascribe to it. People can be miserable in any line of work. People can be happy in any line of work. And the amount of grace you find in a septic tank technician is really no different than the amount of grace you might find with any given celebrity or any given royal or any given politician. We have it within our purview to control that which makes us happy. And a lot of people feel happy when, not just when the light is shown on them. It's not just narcissism, although that's certainly a thing. It's a combination of narcissism and victimhood, and I think just the speed with which the cycle unfolds. Every day we need to see something new every day. And she serves it up. You know, she's part of the cabal that serves up that stuff on the menu that, you know, some people find appetizing. But what can you say? There's no accounting for taste. There are plenty of people out there who can't believe Dirty Jobs has been on the air for 20 years. And some days I'm among them too.
But I know if I said to you, Mike, give me your top five. Just give me, you give me five off the top of your head, I'm sure. 5 guys doing jobs that, you know, aren't necessarily doing a podcast from a palace out in Montecito. who have had to overcome a lot in their lives and have an attitude of being grateful, of being glad to be here, being thankful for the opportunity. You could do it in a second. Sure. Right? It's like, that's what's inspirational to Americans. That's what people get moved by.
Well, a lot do, right? But look, here's the trap for you and me and everybody in a position that has some kind of platform and has some measure of influence. It's so tempting to paint with a broad brush, right? It's so tempting to make a proclamation. If I've learned anything at this point in my life, it's that 2, 3, sometimes 4 things are all true at the same time. And the fact is, there are many people in this country who are still inspired by an attitude of gratitude. And there are many people in this country who are inspired by other attitudes. And so I never really know who's listening. I'm rarely sure exactly to whom I'm speaking, but you and I are on the same page. My foundation awards work ethic scholarships. I have a 12-point sweat pledge that you have to sign in order to apply for money to be trained. And the very first tenet on that sweat pledge says, I believe I have hit the greatest lottery of all time. I live in the United States. I am free. I am grateful above all things. And if you can't agree to that, then I personally can't help you. We talked about this 2 years ago. I get in arguments every year. Parents usually call and say, wait a minute, why does my kid have to sign this thing in order to get a scholarship from your foundation? And I said, because I said so. And they say, well, what do you mean because you said so? And I'm like, look, no harm, no foul. It's just that if your kid's not grateful, if your kid isn't interested in having a conversation about basic work ethic, delayed gratification, a decent attitude, then madam, this particular pile of free money is probably not for you.
Right.
But that's all there is to it. No harm, no foul. Move on.
Are you tired of feeling like someone's always watching you on the internet? Maybe advertisers know a little bit too much about you, or you're concerned about the privacy of your identity. Using incognito mode will not solve the problem either. IPVanish VPN is here to protect your right to privacy and to help you stay anonymous online. IPVanish helps you safely browse the internet without exposing your private details to third parties like hackers, your ISP, or advertisers. When you use IPVanish, all of your data is encrypted. That means your private details, your passwords, your communications, your browsing history, and much, much more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong, weird, prying hands. Even your physical location will be hidden. IPVanish is offering an incredible 70% off their yearly plan for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try it. You don't like it? You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is like getting 9 months for free, 70% off. IPVanish is super easy to use as well. You tap one button, you're instantly protected. Take your privacy back today with a brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Go to ipvanish.com/Megyn and use that promo code MEGYN to claim your 70% savings. ipvanish.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.